Okay, so today is going to be just a little quick review. And what we're trying to do on this one is the last video, the two-part video, we were going through how you go through the definition and describing the role. We wrote all the various roles and how the roles impact your assortment and your profit and the whole works. Here's just a little quick step back so that we can, of course, move forward. And so follow me on this one. This will be good for your notes. And we're going to call this one Trust the Process. At no point did we ever say that category management is going to either usurp or supersede the 4 Ps, or if you've learned from me, the 8 Ps of marketing. And so I need you to keep in mind what the 8 Ps of marketing do for you, because overall that's going to be pervasive inside your organization. It'll also be pervasive inside each category, especially when you get down into the strategies and the tactics. But don't forget, that's where everything comes from. It all emanates from the 4 Ps of marketing. And of course, from this circumstance, learning it from me, the 8 Ps of marketing. And so as a quick review, the original 4 Ps of marketing: product, price, place, promotion. Those are the ones that have been around forever. And they are pretty much describing the product, which is the overall product or service that you're offering your customers. The price, which of course is the last thing you go to if you have an issue, right? The place, which is the availability of your product, and then promotion, which is the communication. Remember, it's not just ads, it's the communication of your brand. Then we added the triple bottom line: people, planet, profit. The triple bottom line, especially with this next generation coming up, is much more important than it might have been in the past. And so if you don't add that to your overall, the overall offering through your 4 Ps, 8 Ps of marketing, then you're losing sight of what the next generation thinks is important, which is you need to take care of your overall people, your overall stakeholders. You have to take care of your planet. The planet is obviously, it's a finite resource. We need to make sure that we take care of our planet. And then profit. And a profitable company is good for the overall environment, good for the economy. And then personalization. Remember, we've been Amazon in our world, and Amazon's algorithms of personalization are incredibly important, and that is our life right now. And so you have to have that as part of your 8 Ps. And so I would like you to know the 8 Ps of marketing and never forget them, because they will be working their way through our process. The process itself, as a reminder, we have a video where we've talked about this. Definition and roles, where we started, or where we left off in the last video, CM5. Defining the category is not only what's in, but what's out of the category, because you have to understand the scope of the category. And so you need to take a long time defining the category. Otherwise, you're going to go down all these little rabbit holes and you'll be like Alice. You have no idea how to get out. Okay, so, and then the category role. Remember, we have destination, we have preferred, we have seasonal, and then I went through and talked about how all the merchandising, gross profit, and everything kind of varies depending on where your role is. Once you had decided your role, then that's how you assess your category. You have to assess your category based upon the role it is playing in the overall mix of the retailer. Otherwise, you might be focused on gross profit when it's a destination category, and you shouldn't be focused on gross profit. You need more of an assortment, and you need to make sure that you're sharp on pricing, which will impact your gross profit. So your assessment has to come after your category role. Then you put together a scorecard, which is your current state. And then, of course, from your current state, you're going to have projections. Your projections are going to come after you put together your strategies and the tactics. Because your strategies and tactics aren't just, I'm going to sell more, right? Your strategy is going to be, here are my gaps. Remember, these are your current state, includes your gaps and your surplus. And then as you're trying to close your gaps, or you're trying to protect your surplus, you'll have to come up with strategies that will do one or the other. And the strategies will have to do with the trends, the environmental scanning, certain categories, certain competitors, certain aspects of the category, certain competitors, those kind of things. So that's where your strategies come from. Every strategy should lead into tactics. Remember, you have a stratogram and a tactogram, and inside your tactics will be your shelving, which will be your planogram. Then you come down, you're going to implement all your tactics, and then you're constantly reviewing. And then one last aspect here, these are the characteristics of the category business plan. It will always take the customer's point of view. I don't know what other view you'd want to take than the customer's point of view. It has clear process owners. You have people who provide data. You have people who provide shelving, the shelving process. You have people who are in the stores, resetting the stores. You have the consumer goods side who will provide trend and research and development. You have the retailer side, which will tell you exactly what you're selling, what you're not selling, the whole works. Those are all the process owners. You have a common format and language. You've got to be speaking the same language as your partners, your other stakeholders, primarily the retailer and the consumer goods company. You're directed by strategy. You're directed by the overall strategy of the company, and you're directed by the strategies that come out of your overall process, and then they play into everything else you're doing. The business supports category business plans. This is a big one. The business supports category business plans. All right? If your business is not set up to support category business plans, you fail. You cannot succeed, especially if you have someone at the top who says, why don't I get immediate results? Well, you don't get immediate results from a category business plan. You get long-term results. They stick. They're better than immediate short-term results. But if you can't bridge that gap between what have you done for me today, then you're going to have trouble getting a category business plan in place. Leverage supplier and retailer expertise. The retailer knows what's going on around its surrounding retailers and what's inside the retail in regards to point of sale data and what they're selling. The supplier knows what's going on outside, understands the trend, understands what all the research and development is, and also probably knows what you're not selling. And so they have to work hand in hand. And of course, continuous improvement, same thing as category review, and you go in around again. You did well, let's go back and do it again. It's a continuous improvement. So we went from the 8 P's of marketing. I need you to know the 8 P's of marketing. Never forget them. The process of category business planning, and then the characteristics of the category business plan. Thank you.